This week on GamePron News, Battlefield 3 fires the first shot in the big-name FPS standoff of 2011, but the launch isn't without some controversy. Rockstar Games announces plans to announce Grand Theft Auto 5, the Metal Gear Solid HD collection is delayed in certain parts of the world, Richard Garriott is replaced by a robot, Minecraft is delayed on Xbox 360, Temple of the Spider God brings Gamebook Adventures into a new generation, and an American aquarium company has a gamer in the naming room. Hi, I'm Jessica Citizen. It's official, Battlefield 3 is every bit as popular as we thought it would be, shipping more than 10 million units in its first week of sale, and most of that was before it even hit shelves in Europe. BF3 has been getting rave reviews across the internet, and for most people it seems that multiplayer is the major drawcard. No surprises there, it was pretty much the same deal with earlier titles in the franchise too. The launch didn't go quite as smoothly as planned in Australia, where a retailer broke street date a day before Battlefield 3 was meant to hit shelves, meaning that the much-touted midnight launches for the game were somewhat underattended. It was also an interesting situation for gamers who picked up the game on PS3. Back at E3 this year, Sony had promised all PS3 purchasers would be rewarded with a copy of the downloadable shooter Battlefield 1943, to much applause. Fast forward to now, and 1943 is nowhere to be seen. It's not included on the Blu-ray, it's not added on a code thrown into the case, and there has been no official mention of the amazing disappearing bonus. The only reference we've seen from the Battlefield Twitter is that, simply, 1943 will not be available on disc for PS3 gamers. In trade, EA is offering all BF3 expansions early to those who are playing the game on Sony's console. Now, if that announcement hadn't been made more than a month ago on the PlayStation blog, it might have been good news. But early access still doesn't quite even the score, particularly on something that's potentially as easily fixed as this. It is a downloadable game, after all. One thing that was thrown into the BF3 boxes, however, was this mysterious card for an as-yet unannounced Medal of Honor title. We knew that Danger Close Games were working on an unannounced AAA first-person shooter title back in January, with the next Medal of Honor hinted at a month later. Things had been awfully quiet since then, possibly to avoid distracting gamers from the big Battlefield launch, but now that that's out of the way, isn't it time to start considering your next FPS endeavour? Rockstar Games would also like to put in a bid for your next big game, announcing this week that Grand Theft Auto 5 is on its way, even though we don't know what it is, where it's set, or who's in it. We do know that it's called Grand Theft Auto 5, and that there will be a brand new trailer released on Tuesday, November 2nd. I guess we'll find out more then. If you were thinking of spending some quality time with the new HD collection for Metal Gear Solid and you live outside of North America or Japan, you may like to cool your heels just a little. The PAL version of the 3-game pack has been delayed to February 2012, even though it's arriving in other territories on November 8th. While you won't be reunited with Snake and his friends just yet, living in these foreign lands does have some perks. It's been confirmed that, in addition to Sons of Liberty, Snake Eater and Peace Walker, Australia, New Zealand, Europe and other PAL territories will also get the MSX versions of Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake thrown into the mix. There are rumours of an exclusive limited edition pack in some areas too, to reward you for your patience. In other news, Richard Garriott, otherwise known as Lord British, the brains behind the Ultima series, has been replaced by a robot. QB60 now patrols the halls of Garriott's Texas-based Portalarium Studios, keeping a watchful eye and synthetic ear on the place. Looking somewhat like a two-wheeled Segway, QB60 features 2 cameras, a monitor, microphone and speakers, making the gadget an ever-present telepresence. It's all hooked up to a wireless internet connection, meaning that Garriott, or anyone with a computer and the internet, can see through the robot's eyes and control its movements. Originally bought so that Garriott's aging mother could virtually attend his wedding in a French chateau last year, QB60 now acts as the developer's proxy in the studio, while Garriott himself spends time in New York. Most normal people would probably achieve pretty much the same effect by using a laptop and a webcam, but as we all know, Lord British ain't really normal people. A 5-foot-tall robot is much more his style, particularly with that jaunty moustache. Work on Minecraft for Xbox 360 is apparently going very well, with the game currently in heavy development at 4J Studios. The developers are working very closely with Mojang specifications to meet Notch's design decisions in an effort to keep the core experience of the original PC version intact. The problem is, while everything's going swimmingly, it's not swimming very fast, and the console version of the game will not be ready for the PC launch on November 18th. If you can get to Minecon in Las Vegas over that weekend, however, you will be able to play a version of the game there, sponsored by Microsoft. That should keep some of you happy. The rest of us, on the other hand, will just have to wait until spring 2012, which is, thankfully, only another few months away. This week also saw the launch of the brand new Gamebook Adventure, number 7, Temple of the Spider God. Gamebook fans from way back should get a little excited about this one. It's been penned by fighting fantasy author Jonathan Green, who is very excited to have his work brought to an all-new audience thanks to his work with Tin Man Games. That said, with a career including experiences with both the Doctor Who and Star Wars universes, you'd think there would be nothing left for Green to explore. Think again. He's particularly pleased that this is the first book he's ever written to have its own theme tune. To celebrate the launch of Temple of the Spider God, Australian-based Tin Man Games has slashed the price of all of its Gamebook Adventure series, so if you're up for a little choose-your-own-adventure blended with some Dungeons & Dragons-style dice-based combat, this one comes personally recommended. And finally this week, gamers pop up in the strangest of places. We've seen gaming-themed bars, gaming-themed food, gaming-themed clothing, and now an American aquarium supplier has chimed in with 2 new forms of coral named after first-person shooters. Inspired by classic weaponry, the red one is named Noob Tube, while the blue is Nuketown after a level in Call of Duty Black Ops. Both of these forms of Acanthostraea coral are available at a particular aquarium supplier, which also stocks the glorious pink and purple Master Chief as well. Till next week, I'm Jessica Citizen, and this is GamePron News.